Welcome to 10-1. Today we're going to be solving one-step inequalities with addition or subtraction. So one-step inequalities. Solving a one-step inequality is very similar to solving a one-step equation. The main difference is that instead of an equal sign, an inequality uses an inequality symbol. So we've got 4 different inequality symbols we're going to be using. We've got, first of all, just the greater than. Okay, that's where it's opening up to the left. We've got less than, where it opens up to the right. Greater than or equal to opens up to the left with that line underneath it, and then less than or equal to opens up to the right with that line underneath it. We have seen these before, but just it's always good to review them. We're going to start by solving one-step inequalities using addition. So in order to do that, we're going to add the same number to both sides of the inequality symbol. And the inequality symbol does not change when we add to both sides. So if it starts out as less than, it stays less than. If it starts out as greater than or equal to, it stays greater than or equal to. So the only thing we do is we add to both sides and we keep our inequality congruent. So if I have x minus 5 is greater than 16 and I want to solve that, what I need to do to solve for x is I need to get rid of this minus 5. Okay, so what I can do is I can add 5 to both sides. And if I do that, the 5's on the left cancel out and I'm left with just x is greater than 16 plus 5, which is 21. So my answer would be x is greater than 21. Another example here, we've got b minus 3 is less than 4. Okay, so again, I'm trying to get rid of this minus 3 here, and I can do that by adding 3 to both sides. And minus 3 plus 3 cancel each other out, leaving just b. I keep the less than the way it is. 4 plus 3 gives me 7, so my final answer would be b is less than 7. Our next example, we've got c minus 6 is greater than 12. Again, we're trying to get rid of this minus 6 because we want c by itself. And in order to do that, I add 6 to both sides. So the 6's cancel out on the left, leaving just c. I keep the greater than the way it is. 12 plus 6 gives me 18. So my final answer would be c is greater than 18. Go ahead and pause the video and solve w minus 1 is less than 19 on your own, and then hit play and see how you did. To get rid of the minus 1 on the left side, we need to add 1 to both sides of the inequality. So if I add 1 to both sides, I'm left with w is less than 20 as my final answer. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to solve a one-step inequality using subtraction. So in order to do that, we're going to subtract the same number from both sides of the inequality symbol. And once again, when we subtract, the inequality symbol does not change when we subtract from both sides. So keep that in mind as we move forward. So for our first example here, we got x plus 4 is greater than 13. So in order to get rid of this plus 4, I need to subtract 4 from both sides. Okay, that'll cancel out the 4's on the left, leaving just x. Got the greater than symbol. 13 minus 4 gives me 9. So my final answer is going to be x is greater than 9. Another example here, we've got c plus 7 is greater than 20. Okay, so I want to get rid of this plus 7 on the left side here. In order to do that, I subtract 7. And if I do it on one side, I've got to subtract from both sides. So the 7's cancel out on the left, leaving just c. I've got the greater than symbol there. 20 minus 7 is 13. So my final answer would be c is greater than 13. For our next example, we've got b plus 2 is less than 8. Okay, so again, we're trying to get rid of this plus 2 on the left side here, and we can do that by subtracting 2 from both sides. Okay, the 2's will cancel out on the left, leaving just b. I've got my less than symbol that stays the way it is, and on the right, 8 minus 2 gives me 6. So my final answer will be b is less than 6. Go ahead and pause the video and solve the inequality d plus 7 is less than 12 for d, and then hit play and see how you did. So for this one, we needed to get rid of the plus 7 on the left side, and in order to do that, we need to subtract 7 from both sides. So if we subtract 7 from the left, we're left with just the variable d. The inequality less than stays the same. 12 minus 7 is 5. So my final answer would be d is less than 5.